I'm going to start with Trent Williams, just because there's really nothing concrete in terms of that. It's something to talk about, though, because the closer we get to free agency, the less likely it is he's coming back. Because, as I said, if he hits that open market, teams are going to overpay him. That's just what it is. And we're getting closer to free agency. I think I feel like we've bounced back and forth on free agency day, and I believe it's March 17th.
That was the 10th.
Is it? Oh, man, we should utilize Google. I know the 10th. I know the 10th is the day that everybody's saying like all these cuts can happen. I don't know. According to the NFL.com, it says free agency starts March 17th. NFL free agency officially begins alongside the arrival of the new league year at 4 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, March 17th. So that's when free agency starts, but I think a lot of things happen before then, which is why everybody says the 10th is the day to look forward to. It gives the teams, a week to prepare. So I guess this will be the question up until he finally signs with a team. How do you feel about Trent Williams?
I'm scared to death. Mm-hmm. When you think about it and you start to look at who has money and things like that and who values what on their roster, right? It feels like the culture just there ready to make their move. Don't let it get to there, because if Trent wants to compete for a championship, he fully well can there. They have a great defense, and that will easily go from the best line in the league to the ultra best line in the league. Like, it almost is a luxury pick, but goodness gracious, it's not. And tackle such a premium position that if Indianapolis doesn't give him the money, someone else will. I just feel like Indianapolis is too much of a team that you can't ignore based on what Trent wants, which is he wants a chance to compete and win. And two, who has the money to do it. And the Colts are right there to do that right now. Yep. And they scare the hell out of me right now.
Yeah, and a lot of people – so here's my thing too, is a lot of people seem to be at the thought of, well, okay, if they lose Trent Williams, Orlando Brown's available for trade. And I get that theory. I understand Orlando Brown is very good. He's very, very good. My issue with that is the 49ers are an offensive line that really struggled with the passing attack last year. I think that's safe to say. They weren't very good at pass blocking. Orlando Brown is great, but he's a downgrade from Trent Williams. The 49ers are not at any position to be able to downgrade at any spot on the offensive line. And as good as Orlando Brown is going to be, possibly with the Niners or whatever his new team is, I don't feel comfortable stepping down from Trent Williams. And that's what it is. Why would you be a team that would be okay with downgrading from the number one player at a position? That's what it is to me. Left tackle is still, I know, edge rushers gotten more popular over the past couple of years. Quarterback's obviously the number one position. Why would you be comfortable downgrading at a position so important like left tackle? And that's my take on it. For me, it's Trent Williams or bust. That's what it is for me.
Take it a step further. Imagine trading draft capital for somebody that you thought was going to be here forever. You swing and miss in a year, and now he's gone. It's a total fail. You have to bring him back whether it makes sense or not, because you wasted a pick trading him, and you get nothing when he leaves. An absolute swing and miss. That's it. And the problem is that this front office has not shown that they will get into any sort of bidding war at all. So whoever gives more money, God bless you and go get your money. But to think about the way this all played out, you lose Joe Staley, you trade a third, you think you're replacing him with the guy who's going to be there forever, you take out the franchise tag in his language just so you can sign a good faith, and guess what? Boom, out the door first chance he gets, complete, utter swing and miss and a fail. Absolute.
Yeah, and we still have 9 days before he hits the open market, and maybe they'll surprise us. But right now, it just seems very worrisome at this point. That's really what it is, right? It's hard to downgrade at the position. And you got to remember, too, this is likely Trent Williams' last chance at a big contract. If he hits that open market, why would you miss that chance to get that big money that he wanted, especially with everything that happened with Washington, him coming over to San Francisco? It's obvious that he wants to get this big contract because he put in his contract, you're not going to franchise tag me. It's a situation that I wish I had the optimism of some people on Twitter, because there is still some optimism out there thinking, hey, it was always going to take a while. It was always going to take to the last minute. which, fine, that could be true. But boy, oh boy, is it stressful. It's not fun to think about right now, the 49ers without Trent Williams. And like I kind of said, I don't know how developed of a take this is, but if Trent Williams is gone, right, and the Dolphins do decide to trade back at 3 and the Niners are that team, at what point do we consider maybe it's to trade up and get Sewell, Penei Sewell at 3? I know obviously a quarterback's a huge need, or quote unquote need right now, but that puts that on the table too, because it's a very slippery slope. Let's just say that, because if Trent Williams is gone, left tackle instantly becomes the number 1 need on this team.
Yeah, I mean that can open up some interesting scenarios with Slater and things like that. But I see Vince is talking about the same situation with Emmanuel Sanders. The only difference is that the 49ers actually recouped the pick when Emmanuel Sanders left. The problem is that because because Trent has 10 years of accrued seasons, you get no pick. You lose your pick that you sent them, and you get no pick compensatory. It's a complete and utter disaster, honestly, from if it doesn't get done. And yeah, maybe it opens up for Slater. Maybe it opens up for somebody else. Yes. But again, this fan base isn't going to like, doing the right thing roster construction wise, whether that's defensive line or addressing offensive line, right? They're just not going to like that. It seems like so many are dead set on just like, if you don't draft a quarterback in the first round, we riot.